Hi and Assalamualaikum all. Today's lesson is on topic 5, which is business process re-engineering methodology. Okay. Let me open the PowerPoint and I will open another one, which is Word. The reason why I want to show you in words because it can help you clearly how the step, purpose and outcome looks like. We will find out what are the steps involved in BPR methodology and what is the purpose of each of the steps and what are the outcome from each of the steps. Okay. So what is the purpose of BPR methodology? When we talk about methodology, means that it is a method, the way how you want to make something. When we talk about BPR, re-engineering, so here it will help you to follow step by step the BPR process in order to make sure that you can successfully implement the BPR practices at the organization. Okay, so back to the purpose. Okay, the purpose of BPR methodology is to plan and track activities. If you follow the methodology of BPR, it is easy for you to plan and track each of the tasks. Okay, and then to measure project achievement, from here you can identify whether you are following the right path or not. And then to define deliverables and outcomes from the tasks that you have done. And lastly, to accurately estimate project cost throughout the life of the project. So the BPR methodology helps you to plan earlier, okay, what you want to achieve for that re-engineering project. Okay, this one we can skip. It's actually explaining about the decision point in order for you to proceed or not to proceed with a certain re-engineering process. Okay, this is the most important topic in this chapter. So basically, there are 8 steps of BPR methodology. The first one is frame the project, and then create vision, values and goals, and then redesign business operations, and then conduct proof of concept, and then plan the implementation. Next, get implementation approval, and then implement the redesign, and lastly, transition to a continuous improvement environment. You need to bear in mind that when we talk about steps means that you need to follow one by one. Step 1, and then step 2, and then step 3 until step 8. So you cannot jump on certain step. Now, let's look at the first step of BPR methodology, which is frame the project. So this is the first plan for re-engineering. So the purpose of framing the project is actually to help you with to proceed or not to proceed with the re-engineering project. Okay, the outcome from framing the project is project framework statement. Next, this is the key activities involved during framing the project. The first is you need to assemble the analysis team for re-engineering, and then you draft project frame, and then you conduct a current situation analysis as is. As is very important. If you have already the current process or current flowchart, you need to analyze where is the problem come from. Okay, that's why you need to look at the as is process. And then produce the framework statement. Framework statement stated that you need to conduct the re-engineering or not to conduct. And then once you have produced the framework statement, the team member will recommend project whether to proceed or not to proceed. And then if you proceed the re-engineering project, you will liaise with the executive sponsor in order to make sure that they can support your project. Okay, that is the first step, which is frame the project. Second step, So once you already settle with framing the project, you already decide to do re-engineering. The second step is to create vision, value and goals. When you already decided to do re-engineering, you need to create back new vision, value and goals of the new improved organization. Okay, it's very important because it will help to create what you want to achieve for the new re-engineering project. Okay, the outcome from create vision, values and goals is vision, values and goals statement. Okay, next step, when you have already done the step 2, which is creating vision, value and goal. Again, the key activities involved during this step. When you want to create vision, value, goals, the first thing is you need to prepare for project kick-off meeting session. And then you conduct the meeting. During here, you will brainstorm, get the ideas. What is the current vision, value and goals of the company. And then conduct the vision session, create the vision, value and goal statement. And then once you already decide on the vision, value and goals of the new re-engineered company, then you validate the vision, value and goals statement. It is very important for the organization to validate anything that you have created because for documentation purpose, it will help you to easily track back all the records. Next, the third step, after you create vision, value and goals, you will proceed with step 3, which is redesign business operations. From here, you can see from one step to another, the process becoming more in-depth, more complicated. So the purpose of redesign business operations is to design a new way of doing business that is in alignment with the vision, values and goal. For example, if your new vision, value and goals is to make sure that all of your customers are able to eat your curry pop, okay, so you will design a machine or any materials that to ensure that you can export your curry pop to all over the world. Okay, that is how you redesign business operation. So the outcome of a redesigned business operation is redesign blueprint. Okay, what is blueprint? Blueprint is actually a documentation. Okay, redesign blueprint means that you document what is your plan for action. So this blueprint consists of physical, technical dimension, infrastructure dimension, and also the volume dimension that we have learned on the first topic. Okay, next. Okay, this all explaining about each of the components in when you want to redesign the business operations. The key activities involved during redesign business operation. First, you need to prepare the blueprint session with all the team members and then conduct the blueprint session. Next is document the blueprint, and lastly you need to validate the blueprint. Okay, during this step there are several problems that might occur, and one of the problem is letting go problems. Letting go problems means that you are letting go a simple problem and you can make the problem become bigger than what you expected. Okay, these are 5 problems. First, separating what needs to be done from who does it, and identify customer and understanding that they may be internal or external to the organization. Sometimes the people itself always forgot that the employee in the organization itself is the customer. Okay, and then not considering different perspective in the redesign, expecting a technological solution to solve a business operation problem. Not all technology can help solve the problem of business. Okay, sometimes the main reason of problem in the organization is not because of the technology, but because of the people itself. Problem is skills, problem is communication, the implementation issues when people should be concentrating on the business redesign. This is problems during this step. Okay, next step, conduct proof of concept. So you already settle on the redesign business operation. So the next step is to conduct proof of concept. So during this step, here you will create a dummy process, or they call it as pilot testing. Alright, pilot testing means that before you implement the actual process or actual re-engineering, you will try first in certain department or in certain area in order to make sure that the implementation of this process can be successful if you implement for the whole organization. Okay, it is very important for an organization that involved in re-engineering to do pilot testing. Why? Because first, actual as opposed to estimated proof of benefits means that when you try to do pilot testing first, you can identify whether if you want to implement as a whole, it can be successful or not. And then second benefits of pilot testing is experiences that teach people how to ensure orderly change and avoid mistakes during the implementation. If you don't do pilot testing and you just straight away implement as a whole, if there is any problem occur during the implementation phase, you might give a very big impact in terms of the resources. Okay? And then training materials, job structuring and business practices testing also benefit from the pilot testing. But pilot testing is not the outcome. Okay, conduct proof of concept. The outcome is benefits statement, right? Okay, so these are another benefits of pilot testing. Okay, the outcome of conduct proof of concept is benefits statement. Means that when you do the pilot testing, you can identify what are the benefits from implementing the new improved process or procedure. Okay, key activities involved during conducting proof of concept. First, you will need to determine need for proof of concept. Sometimes there is a project that you don't have to conduct a pilot testing, and some you need to do pilot testing. For example, like hard data is that is very subtle. You don't know whether it is successful or not if you implement it. So you can try pilot testing first, and then if there is issues of commitment, so you do the pilot testing. If it involves radical change that might having problem for the people involved to accept the changes, you try to do pilot testing first. And then pilot testing also helps to estimate initial costs and also expect what can expect things that might occur during the actual implementation. Next, you select a proof of concept approach. Either you want to do a simulation or pilot test, and then you develop proof of concept requirements and planning. Okay, next step. You already conducted proof of concept, okay, and the outcome is benefit statement. So the next step is plan the implementation. You already ready, you have the device, you have the system, okay, you have the flow chart, and now you want to plan how to implement it. Okay, alright, so plan the implementation. Okay, so the purpose of plan the implementation is to develop a realistic action plan for implementing the re-engineering blueprint. The outcome of plan the implementation is implementation plan. So the key activity involved during plan the implementation is prepare for the implementation planning sessions, and then conduct the implementation planning session. Next, document the implementation plan, and lastly, validate the implementation plan. what is the most important thing that you need to know? You need to remember that any sessions, any brainstorming, any ideas, any documentation need to be validated in order to make sure that it is approved by all the people in the organization, and also to the people, for example, like local authorities. Okay, next step is get implementation approval. Okay, you already planned how to implement, so now you need to ask the top management the approval for you to implement the new process re-engineering. What happens if you not get the approval from the top level management? So most probably top level management won't support you for especially in terms of financial support. Okay, so the purpose of get implementation approval is to get the funding and resources to begin blueprint implementation. So the outcome from getting implementation approval is a funded resource request. So the key activities also the same as the previous step. Develop approval strategy, ask for approval. Okay, and then step 7, second last step, which is mandatory design. This is the most crucial part of every business re-engineering process, the implementation of redesign. You have spent a lot of time planning, developing the process, developing the system and so forth. And so the 7th step is the most crucial step to ensure whether you have successful implementation or not successful implementation. Okay. Alright, so what is the outcome? The outcome from implement the redesign is a measurement results. Measurement result means the result of implementation. Is it good or is it bad? How to measure the result? One of the way to measure result is by asking a feedback from the customer, or you can distribute questionnaire and you can get it from the customer response. Or maybe you can look from the total sales of the business after implementing the new redesign. That are all the measurement results to show whether you have successful or not successful in implementing the redesign. The key activities involved during implement the redesign. First, consistent periodic meetings. This is the most crucial phase, crucial step. So during this time, all the people involved in this project will always do the meeting, updating in order to make sure that the process is in orderly. And then don't forget to celebrate success. And also you need to conduct critical reflection. For example, like if you have organized an event, right? After the event, you need to do postmortem. So same goes to a re-engineering project. The last step, step 8, is transition to a continuous improvement. Okay, so it's actually like the last phase. You want to end a journey, okay, but you need to make sure that your journey is ended with a good memory. Okay? So the purpose of this step is to bring closure to project team activities and have line organizations continue to improve the re-engineered environment. The outcome from the last step is continually improve performance. It is important for you to conduct this last step because you want to make sure that your implementation of re-engineering or new engineered process is maintained for a long time. Okay, if not, if there is any problem after implementing the re-engineering, you will need to do back all the business re-engineering process activities. Okay, the key activities involved during this step is ongoing measurement and critical reflection by operation units. Okay, so that's the end of topic 5. Now let's recap back what we have learned on this topic So the most important thing that you need to know and you need to understand is there are 8 steps of BPR methodology. So people involved in re-engineering need to make sure that they follow each step carefully in order to make sure that they can implement the re-engineering project successful in their organization. Okay, so thank you. That's all for today. Bye.